guys. Welcome to episode 73 of Concentrated, the podcast about all of the things we find cool and interesting as nerds of color.
My fan.
Eric,
Keep going. Sorry.
Eric has his fan, and so
No,
guys,
I forgot my fan.
Dear
I run hot.
God, this is already going down the toilet. I can't even get through the damn intro with y'all, guys. The bitch over here complaining about his fan. That's my co-host Eric. Yeah, that's all you get is just a meh.
It's a me.
And we have our producer guy and, of course, the lovely Manira.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
We're doing it live. All right.
It's a me.
So this week, guys, if you listened to last week's episode, you'd know that I was all excited about doing the Boys recap, and then my dumbass realized that we still have another week before the Boys is done. So instead, today we are going to be talking about some of our favorite Indigenous characters. And, you know, depending on how the conversation goes, we may also talk about sometimes that Indigenous characters were done dirty as shit. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But before,
you mean most of modern media.
All of modern media. But before we go down that road, it is time for Eric to do the news. Oh, that was bad, Manir.
What?
That was terrible.
It was
all right. Was it the Price is Right bad song?
It was not.
All
The
right.
Price is Right.
It was not the Price is Right song.
Correct.
All right. So I got some news.
All right.
I don't have a death. I have a hopeful death.
Stop it. We're not wishing anyone dead on this show. We're going to be...
Fuck that. The president has COVID, and I hope his stupid old bitch ass dies.
Yeah.
Those views are my views alone. I don't know how y'all feel, but fuck him.
I think I said yeah, so.
I don't want him to die. I don't want anybody to die from COVID.
I don't even think he really has it. I think it's all.
However,
I'm Maria. I wear an angel hat. I don't want anybody to die.
I don't want anyone to die from COVID. I do want him to suffer horrifically before he recovers so that he can understand what other Americans and people in general have gone through dealing with this illness and how it's not a joke. It's not a hoax. It is serious. It's not just the cold. Maybe if he suffers, he'll have a little bit of compassion for the rest of us.
No.
You're adorable in
I want
thinking
his bitch ass dead. I don't want any.
You are adorable.
I want no chance that he gets reelected, even if he comes through this like a fucking walking turd. I don't want him. So, have fun. Hope you die. Moving along.
Sounds like somebody.
Right? Who else is
your
dying?
house.
My lord.
Moving along to shittier news. As COVID continues to expand and we don't get any movies, Cineworld, the company that owns Regal Theaters, is floating the idea of possibly closing all of their not North American, but U.S., because I'm sure Canada's doing better than we are, theaters. So that's any Regal theater, which they are the second largest theater chain in America.
Right, behind AMC, right?
Yeah. So you run the risk. They were hoping Tenet didn't do as well as they expected in America, even though it has done pretty well overseas. And then big name things that they were hoping to bring people back to the box office, like James Bond, Black Widow, everything's pushed basically to next year. There's a couple of things that are maybe happening in December, but the way things are going, those will probably be pushed to next year as well. So they are floating the idea of possibly closing all of their venues.
So they want us to all resort back to piracy. Got it.
Either that or go to AMC.
All right.
Yeah, Cineworld could shutter 543 of its Regal Cinema venues in the U.S. and all of their venues in Ireland and the UK.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they say that in the UK, they're definitely starting a second wave.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things open back up and they're starting to lock things back down. So
we didn't get a second wave here because we're still not out of the first one.
That's fair.
So we have the winter to look forward for when people start getting the flu. And, flu on top of COVID, it's a recipe for dead.
I wish that you, right. I wish you were wrong, but I don't think you are. I think you're head on that one.
Anyway, y'all want to end on some good news?
Yes, please.
Do you have some?
Right.
I do. How do you guys feel about the movie Hocus Pocus?
I love it.
I
Oh
love
my
it.
God, what do you
Wait,
mean? I
what's
love
going
it.
on with Hocus Pocus?
I'm kind of never been a big huge fan of it.
You asked the question, we answered.
You
We
hate
didn't
fun.
ask you a
That's what it
question.
is. You fucking hate fun. Hocus Pocus is fun.
What I was going to tell you is because it is the spooky season, the Halloween, October. Hocus Pocus was re-released in most theaters and drive-ins and all that. So it is the #2 movie in the country right now, besides Tenet. So it's actually, yeah, it's doing very well.
That makes me happy.
The version that they have on Disney Plus was remastered, and I got so excited. I was like, it's like I'm watching it new all over again.
Oh, did they?
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it's gorgeous.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh.
It's not grainy at all. It's really pretty.
Yeah, I'm 4 days in and I've only I try to watch something spooky or just, horror, whatever, like every day the month of October. And I got a couple of episodes on like Thursday. I got a couple of episodes of like Ghost Hunters because Zach Baggins is a goddamn fool and I love watching him be ridiculous. And then, oh my gosh, I watched one thing. Oh, I watched this Russian horror movie. Eric, you probably know it. Cosmonaut Comes Back Down. Sputnik. Yes.
Sputnik, yeah.
Yes.
That came out in theaters earlier this year. It was very limited release because, of course, everything's closed.
Have you watched it yet?
Yeah, it's really good. It's
it was
creepy
really
body horror.
good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I need to catch up, but Hocus Pocus was definitely on my list. I did not realize it was remastered, so I'm very excited. I might actually see if my child wants to sit and watch that one with me.
I did a double feature because I went to their section. I was like, ooh, what other
Hocus
Halloween
Pocus
movies?
With what?
They have James and the Giant Peach on there, and I have not seen James and the Giant Peach in so long. I know. I had to see him. It was so cute. So I watched that, and then yesterday I watched Casper, Nightmare Before
Casper.
Christmas, and Beetlejuice because I love myself some Beetlejuice.
Also, not a huge fan of Beetlejuice.
I know, and you can
really
suck a
liked it.
dick. Like, it really gets on my nerves.
I've been told.
Wait, what
He's
about the Addams
fantastic.
Family? Are you good with the Addams Family?
Adam's
I
Family
enjoyed-
was coming
I en-
on, and I was going upstairs.
I enjoy the Addams Family, and the only reason I watched Casper when it came out was because of Christina Ricci. Because it's like my first childhood crush is Christina Ricci.
He really did love Christina Ricci.
Well,
It's
I
kinda
watched it
creepy.
because they promised me Devon Sawa, and Devon Sawa came on at the very end. Because
Because he's
Very
a
end.
fuck boy.
he's
Ooh.
not a fuckboy.
All
Can I
right,
keep
moving right along.
Ugh, one of the best lines ever.
All right. So, Eric, did you have any other news before you two result into insulting each other some more?
No, that's really all I got. I feel like there was something else big, but hang on, I'm just checking my.
Kraft's
sources.
getting a either a
Yeah.
remake or a sequel. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen the trailer for that they put it out the other day?
No. Does it look terrible? Please tell
No,
me
it looks I thought it looked great.
It looks okay, but just unnecessary. It does that thing where they make a sequel 20 years later, and they feel the need to redo those same lines and scenes, and it feels forced. And some people will call that nostalgia. I call it.
Right. Okay. Are you done? Great.
I'm done.
Because
Go
here
ahead.
we go.
Oh my goodness.
It looks fantastic. I'm super excited. They had a picture of Nancy, so they brought her in. I don't know. I get kind of the feeling that the lead is going to be the Nancy instead of the other girl, which I'm really excited about because I do not want that little black girl to be Nancy. She doesn't get to. She gets to be a good witch. You don't make her a bad witch. You
No.
make that little white girl a bad witch.
As I
Thank
explained to
you.
Manera, I got vibes of Carrie 2 The Rage, and I don't know if you remember how terrible that movie was.
Yeah.
That's what I felt when I saw this trailer.
Well,
Also,
anyways,
they did
back to
drop the
me.
first trailer
Like
for
I
the
said.
new remake of The Witches.
Yes.
That
And I
looks
have
good,
not
too.
watched the trailer yet, but
Guess
I
what?
heard Anne
They're all on our
Hathaway did
YouTube
it.
channel.
I know. That's how I saw. I was like, "Ooh, the trailer for the Witches," but I haven't gone to watch it yet. I need to.
Looks good.
Y'all should watch it too if
It
you haven't
does.
already.
Yeah, I can
I-
agree on that one.
Anne Hathaway in these types of roles, so I'm actually very excited.
She looks like she's having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
yes.
Like
Cool.
a lot of fun.
Also, if you want some more weird Russian movies to watch Why Don't You Just Die? It came out not too long ago. It's very weird, very violent.
So,
don't
what
wanna-
genre would you consider it?
It's kind of like a black comedy.
Huh. Okay. Because this month there are only very specific things I will watch this month, so I may have to put
There's
it
plenty of
off
violence in that.
till
So
November. But if you feel like it fits my October criteria, I'll take a look at it.
yeah.
Cool.
Just saying, and also for the listeners, if you're looking for weird Russian movies, and if
I
you
don't
want
think anybody's
Russian,
ever looking for weird Russian
if
movies.
you want weird Russian like sci-fi horror, check out Night Watch and Day Watch. They're Timur Bekmambetov. He ended up doing the remake of Ben-Hur in America. He also did Wanted in America. Not great movies, but Night Watch and Day Watch are really good. They're very strange.
I think it's important to know, like when we say if you want a weird Russian movie, I think for our listeners, the bigger thing is, there are other countries that make really good movies and enjoyable movies besides the US and like, France and Spain and Italy that we talk about a lot on this show, in the UK. Like, definitely, and of course the Asian countries, because I feel like we are always giving credit to Korea and Japan for their movie making.
Not even them, like Indonesia and Thailand, they're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Great movies coming out of there.
Yeah, so definitely like get your international up. For those of you that hate reading subtitles, get over it. It's fine. Because like I said, I watched Sputnik completely with subtitles and it was perfect. Like, it was a really good movie. So yeah, check them out. They're definitely interesting. All right, so Eric, if you are done, let's get into it. So as we stated, we wanted to highlight some of our favorite Indigenous characters. I think that as a POC podcast, we talk a lot about just things in general that affect people of color. But one of the things that I don't think we've done on this show in the year that we've been doing it is really have a focus on Indigenous representation, and specifically Indigenous characters that we really appreciated. So I think that we should probably just jump right in. Well, here's the thing. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about the times that we think that it's been done horribly, or do we want to just start at the top and then go down?
We can do the times that it's done horribly. Do you have a few? I know we said a lot of them.
I have a few dozen.
Right.
Then you kick it off, sir.
I mean, the quick obvious one, Apache Chief from the Justice League cartoon from the 70s. There's a reason they didn't bring him back in the modern remakes.
Yeah, I mean, but that to me, Apache Chief goes. It's just like what's his name from G.I. Joe?
Any G.I. Joe character?
All of the G.I. Yeah, and you guys can go back in our annals and watch the old G.I. Joe episode, or listen to the old G.I. Joe. Annals. I did say annals, didn't I? Don't go in our annals.
Don't go in our annals.
Don't go in our annals. Go to our annals.
No, thank you.
You can listen to our G.I. Joe episode where we broke down how incredibly racist even though we love the cartoon, like, we didn't know no better as children. That cartoon was racist as hell, and you definitely had that experience with the Native American character, who I can't remember his name, but it was something hella racist, like Eagle Eye or something like that.
We even broke down his background and like his backstory.
Oh, it was so bad. Yeah, he was like did they say that he was like who knows?
It's like a Native American tracker or something.
Yeah, a tracker.
Apparently, to be a Native American in modern media, you have to be like a tracker.
Yes, because apparently that's the only thing that Native Americans or Indigenous folks are good at. Yep. Funny enough, we were watching when we were watching Ghost Stories this week, one of the episodes was like somewhere in Texas, like literally right next to like the Mexico Texas line. And Zach Baggins does this thing where everything with him is Native Indians. That's what he always says, Native Indians. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking? What is a Native Indian? Help me understand. Come on, seriously. Did you need to ask that question?
You should be happy he's even including the Native part.
Anywho, all right. So obviously Apache Chief. Who else you got, Eric?
This one is a little bit of a deep cut for fighting game fans. Julia Chang from Tekken. If you guys know Tekken, she is Chinese and Native American. And she wears like jean shorts, booty cut jean shorts, and the typical Native American vest, and then she has a feather in her hair, and she does kung fu.
Wait, who is this?
Julia Chang from Julia Chang and Michelle Chang, which I can't remember if it was her mother or her sister. You never played Tekken, and there's the one native character.
Oh, that's right. Yes, yes. I'm looking at her right now because it's the vest has the tassels on it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's really bad.
You guys got any good ones?
I think all of the werewolves in the Twilight series, all of them,
and they were all native. All of them were Native Americans, and they were
they literally got Native American actors, which was great. But like, how could they have been more stereotypical as a quote unquote tribe? Ugh. Everything about that was just bad. Bad.
What? You don't know, whenever they have to deal with the white man, they have to come into town, and they have to come in for that fire water, and they have to tell stories, because apparently that's all native characters are good for, is to tell stories of how the old ways were.
Well, they did have that meeting, and they allowed that white woman to come through because, she was the white woman, the chosen white woman.
Yep.
Ugh, I hate Twilight. Sorry. I hate Twilight.
I think I'm going to pick up the new book. Actually, I saw it today in a store, and I was like, oh, this is thick. Did she try to do the entire story from Edward's perspective in one book? Because it's like that thick. It's like Goblet of Fire.
Girl.
Just saying.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, more fighting games. You have Nighthawk from Mortal Kombat, who literally wears war paint. And in the movies, he has to take Liu Kang on a spiritual journey to find his spirit animal to help him unlock bestialities. And then, if you don't remember, he turns into a dragon at the end.
Oh,
Nightwolf turns into a wolf. Liu Kang turns into a very poorly animated dragon.
I remember the dragon. It was so bad.
It's very bad. Oh, it's so bad. It's not even good for 1997 CGI.
Here's the thing that I struggle with. Why is it so fucking hard to just show indigenous cultures the respect that they deserve when putting them on screen, and also making sure that it's understood that they are not all one thing? They're not all one thing.
Because if you did that, then you'd also have to say that we were on their land, and we put them in camps, and we've made them kind of irrelevant, and people that aren't really here.
Casinos and reservations, they should be happy, right?
Yeah, everyone should be happy with what the white man gives them. Yeah, no, that is why.
Also,
the same reason that people think blackface is okay.
Yeah,
that's why.
I say you'd have to acknowledge them as people of equal regard.
And then you can't wear that cute little slutty outfit that you wanted to wear for Halloween.
Yep, you can't be the sexy Indian woman. You also can't go to your favorite sporting event and wear a full Native American headdress. You
can't go to Coachella and just be in the Coachella vibes, wearing whatever you want to wear. You can't do that.
You can't put on brown face. You can't put beads in your hair.
No, you can't do all of the things that you want to do because you have to give acknowledgement to these people.
Mm.
Ugh.
Yikes.
God, Maria, why would you even?
I know. I don't know.
You can't show up on Thanksgiving and talk about how corn is maize and how you did a little presentation in 3rd grade.
No, you can't.
Nope.
You can't.
All right.
God, we have to stop everyone's fun, don't we?
Well, talk about stopping fun. I think that I want to mention one more before we start talking about the ones or about characters that we were really that we really love. And I think I want to do this because both of the characters that I'm about to talk about are Disney characters. One is a horrible representation, and then we get into a character that I love absolutely. So,
is it Pocahontas and her whole family?
No, girl, I was going even harder than that. I was going Princess Tiger Lily.
Oh. My dad would not let me go, and that is the only Disney movie that my dad would not let me see.
You didn't miss shit. You didn't want to see Pocahontas.
No,
Pocahontas
I was
is
good.
terrible, but
I was fine.
I
It
think
is
that
pretty trash.
I'm gonna talk about Tiger Lily for a second because she predates Pocahontas, and the
Well, the Disney
idea,
version.
right? The Disney version. Wait, yes,
Peter Pan
yes.
was before Pocahontas.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
you're right.
thinking. No, I got what he was saying. The Disney version, because I'm like,
But
there's
the
no other
actual
version, but
yeah,
Pocahontas
the
is
legend
actually
of Pocahontas. Yeah.
No, we're not talking about the actual person Pocahontas, but rather the cartoon. But Princess Tiger Lily, like everything in the cartoon about Peter's interaction with her and her dad was so incredibly fucking racist. And you don't know any better as a kid. So you're just like, oh, look at the pretty little Indian princess. I want to be her. She sits there quietly and meek and just, is there. It was fucking terrible. So kind of switching gears, that's why I'm very, very happy that by the time Disney decided to come back to doing an indigenous story,
You didn't like the fact that it was also played by Rooney Mara in the movie, a straight up white woman.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she played her in what was the most recent one? Was it just Pan?
He's talking about the other. She's talking about animated.
talking-
You're talking about.
I'm talking about the
live.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the one that came out in like 2014. I want to say.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
Rooney Mara played her, and it wasn't like she did the voice. No, she a straight up white woman. On
Listen,
screen.
we're not even going to keep talking about all of the times that white women are cast to play indigenous characters or any character that's not white. We're just going to leave that one alone.
Ooh, Scarlett Johansson, are you all right?
Oof.
Are you okay, Scarlett?
Ooh, ScarJo.
Is Emma Stone okay?
Right,
no,
yeah.
she's fired too. She's a little burned over there, a little singed.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
a
not here
little.
for any of them. But by the
Someone
time the
check on her. She's
Disney,
very white.
She is very, very white.
she got too much heat.
Mhm.
I think that by the time they decided to come back after that shit show that was Pocahontas to do another indigenous storyline, I think that they generally did it well. And one of probably my favorite indigenous character comes from that, and that is Moana, where they chose to focus on natives of the Pacific Islands. I will leave it at that because they did not identify any particular tribe. So, some people are like, oh, well, they're Maori. Well, yes and no, because like some of the things were very Maori-esque, but they never actually said like these people are Maori, so I don't want to do that. But the Grandma Tala, is absolutely one of my favorite characters in general, but definitely my favorite indigenous character. And I loved her because what Disney did with this character that I really appreciated was that they got away from the stereotypical norm of how elders in indigenous communities talk and communicate their truths and share their wisdom. She was very much like, there was a line like, I'm supposed to be the crazy lady. I'm just doing my job. Like she was very different in how she shared her wisdom. It
She
wasn't
also
like
spoke to Moana like she was a real fucking person and not a child.
Right.
And there's also that. So
And she facilitated Moana actually going on her journey and furthering her people.
Yes. Yeah. Right, because she remembered the old ways.
No one else would.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like in all of the ways that you want a grandmother to be awesome, regardless of what her ethnicity is, Grandma Tala like checks off all of those boxes. And at the same time, she did so while not just being a stereotype. So yeah, so that's mine. I only had one.
Enjoyed her.
I did. I loved her so much.
Anytime I see Miss Stingray, I'm like, oh.
Listen, when she passed, I cried like a fucking baby. Like,
yeah.
And then when you see her again as the Stingray later in the movie,
your nephew was like, "Are you crying?" And I was like, "Of course I am."
Yes.
What do you mean?
Why are you not crying, you soulless child?
I cried all through that movie, and he like every time would look over me and be like, "So you're crying?" And I'm like, "Yes." And so like finally when it was over and the lights were up, he was like, "You cried all through that movie." I was like, "I sure did. I'm crying right now because it's over."
Listen, the one that I struggled watching you cry through was when we went to see the live action of The Jungle Book.
It was amazing because me and Jon Favreau have the same love for The Jungle Book. That's why.
Listen, but you You were sobbing. It was like I could hear you sobbing over me inhaling popcorn. That was a lot. You were doing a
Love
lot.
it when a good. I love it
I
when
think
a
she means because she
movie.
was inhaling popcorn quite quickly.
I was, and very loudly. I shouldn't have been able to hear shit on top of, but I can hear
Love
her
it when a
crying.
movie is done well and you can feel the heart in
Yeah.
it. And Jungle Book was one of those. Like I still, when it was on, I saw it 2 weeks ago and I was crying through it because, you know, bare necessities. I was just crying. But you know, it is what it is. I cry when things are beautiful, and that was beautiful.
Yeah. And the last thing that I'll say specifically about Grandma Tala and how I think Disney kind of redeemed themselves from the Pocahontas nightmare with Moana. Like all of the actors, I believe all of the major actors and actresses were of Pacific Island descent. Like the character or the woman that played Grandma Tala, Rachel House, she is actually a Maori woman. I know the young lady that played Moana, obviously The Rock. Like they did their best to try to make sure that they actually had the representation of the people who the cartoon was supposed to be representing. So yeah, that's mine. I know you two have way more than I do, so I kind of want to turn it over. Manira, who are yours?
Well, I have a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
My first one is Elise Meza from Gargoyles.
Yes.
Well, detective. Let me put some respect on her name.
Yeah,
I'm
put some
sorry.
respect on her name.
Detective Elise. I enjoyed her because when I was little, you know, there weren't that many actors, cartoons that weren't foils or victims or criminals, and she was a badass in her own right, but also when it came to gargoyles being that they are scary and big, she held her own and she
Mhm.
solved crimes right along with them. I also enjoyed her and Goliath's relationship. It was my first bestiality situation where I was like, so why can't they get together? Oh, because he's made of like he's a gargoyle. Is
'Cause
that
he's
a
not
thing?
human.
Right? 'Cause he's not like, but is it though? Because they have really good chemistry. So can they be together? Like, look, he did that longing look, and he just saved her, and she kind of looked like I didn't need saving, but thanks. Like
Wasn't
she
there
gave
an
him a look.
episode where they turned into humans?
I
Like
There
it
think
was
it
was.
something.
was.
It was something about
I
a
think
spell
it
where
was
they,
like one
yeah,
day.
where they
I
turned
think they
into
had like
humans.
one day, yeah. Because I remember the dog gargoyle being an actual like dog.
Bronx.
Yes. Yes. I think it was like one day. One day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed her immensely, and
Also, that show is just criminally underrated.
it's on Disney Plus. Listen,
Yeah.
The first day that we got our Disney Plus, I went over there and I just watched like the first episode and I fell in love again. I haven't gone back because I don't want to like, you know, eat it all up because you know it's something that we have.
It
I
is
mean,
one of the best episodic cartoons that Disney ever did.
yeah.
To this
And
day.
to to
To this day.
Yes.
Yeah, to this day. Easy.
Yeah. So that is my first one. Eric, do you want to say your?
I never realized she was played by
She is.
what's her name from Eureka.
Yeah. But
She was also in Low Down Dirty Shame.
She was in Low Down Dirty Shame, and she got her ass rocked by Jada Pinkett. Yes.
No, it's Jada Pinkett. No, it's not a lot to be. I'm not a Jada
Well,
Pinkett fan.
she's tiny, and it's Celeste Richardson.
Mhm.
She is taller than Jada Pinkett. I mean, the size of the whole thing. Like it was just, you know. Anybody that's seen Low Down Dirty Shame knows that it was pretty big deal because Jada Pinkett was like this big, and
Yeah.
I could throw Jada Pinkett in a trash can.
No, you definitely could. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Eric, what are yours? Or what is one of yours?
Mine is kind of a twofer because they're brother and sister. I was going to talk about Sokka and Katara from Legend of Avatar, Legend of the Last Airbender, or The Last Airbender. Sorry.
You got it?
I mixed up Legend of Korra and The Last Airbender. In Korra too, because I mean, Korra is from the water tribes, and they're based on indigenous Inuit culture, which
Mhm.
is amazing. But like Katara gets a little bit more respect for me because during her time, like they didn't have all the advances in technology that they do in Legend of Korra, which is like 70 years in the future.
Mhm.
But they were just, strong, intelligent character. Well, she was. Sokka's. He's the dummy.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
He's the
whoa.
fun character.
Put some respect on Sokka because he gets a lot of shit. But when the story's
No.
all said and done, Sokka was pretty integral to the story.
That's what I love about
not-
Avatar. That the first Legend of the Last Airbender. Those first three books, like there's so much character development over those three seasons, and even Sokka, who is kind of the joking, fun guy, like he
gets serious.
up.
Yeah, he gets pretty fucking serious.
Yeah, and they were always my favorites because unfortunately a lot of the goodwill that they did with the show got thrown in the garbage can when they did the movie and they turned them into white kids. So
well, we will never speak of that movie again. We're going to pretend it never happened.
Well, we have the show coming out, and being that the original show creators left the production for creative differences, I don't know if it's going to get any better.
Well, we can hold out hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think both of those characters were done really, really well. I appreciated the fact that, well, I mean, we've talked about this with Avatar before. Like, you didn't have to guess what indigenous community they were representing. It was made very, very clear. And I felt like it was done in a really respectful way. And, they were the Avatar's homies. Like, they were incredibly valuable to the story. So, yeah.
Yeah, those were two of my personal favorites.
Cool. Manira, did you have any more?
I have two. They are both played by the same character. They are both played by the same person. They are not the same character.
Okay.
My first that he did, and I didn't know it was him. And then once I figured out that it was him in the second one, I was completely blown away because he's been in just about everything. Was Crow Daddy from Dr. Sleep. If anyone watched Dr. Sleep, he is Rose the Hat's right hand, may or may not be her boyfriend. He has
Well, they were like immortal, so I'm assuming they hooked up every decade or so.
Well, the way that he like kind of talked to her and the way that she basically like only really listened to him, I figured that they were something, but it was never really pronounced, if that makes sense. I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed his kind of power. Like he had a bit of a, what was it, like sleep paralysis, where would you call it sleep paralysis?
Was he like a spirit walker or something like that?
I don't want to
like
say
astral projection.
That. I want to say like astral projection. I don't want to say like sleepwalker because that gets too but I enjoyed him. He was very creepy, but in a kind of like don't mess with him because that's a lot of power sort of way, if that makes sense. But he didn't wield it like it was a lot of power. It was just that guy is doing something like, okay, the Simpsons episode where the Yakuza comes and Homer's in like the window and Marge is like, come away, because like they're fighting and he's like, no, but that guy is doing
the little guy in white,
right? He's gonna do something, and I know it's gonna be cool. And he goes away. She's like, "Come on!" And he comes away from it, and then like all you hear is like this loud bang and a bunch of clattering and all this other stuff. And he's like, "Oh man," because he knew it was that guy.
I knew it was probably cool.
That like he just had like big dick energy, basically. I enjoy that. Also, Akecha. How am I saying it wrong, Eric? You watch Westworld. You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name.
Okay. Well, he is a AI who, yeah, I know how to spell it. I just don't know how to say it right. He is an AI.
I mean, I would assume it's a Ketchita.
Okay. Well, I thought that's what I was saying, but.
Well, you did, but you kept like second guessing.
Because I'm not sure, and I don't want to mess up anybody's name. Yeah. He is a AI who becomes sentient and he helps Maeve figure out how to get to her daughter and basically ushers her daughter over to their heaven, as it were. But I liked the story that he was
took
given.
her to a save point.
Yeah, the story that he was given, I really appreciated, and also that he was one of the sentient beings, and he was not a white person, which I really appreciate. Which I mean, one of the reasons why I appreciate that Maeve is a sentient being and knows basically that she is who she is.
Is that Thandie Newton's character?
It is
Yeah.
indeed. Yes.
Oh. I've literally watched one episode of Westworld ever, so
I mean, you should come back. Like, it's so good.
Winter is coming.
Great, but it.
Last season, they did the trope of a white man being the end-all be-all when you have a regular white woman standing right there where she could have been the end-all be-all. But whatever.
Well, I'm going through
Is it whatever though?
the Hunters right now, so I'll take new recommendations after I finish the Hunters. Al Pacino's old Jewish guy is
the
pretty.
Hundreds.
No, the Hunters. Al Pacino's old Jewish guy is actually pretty fucking amazing. Was not.
There's some
expecting
shit
that.
with him, and so I'm not. I didn't finish it, but there's some shit with him. I get a vibe about him.
Oh, on the show.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, not
okay.
Al Pacino.
Yeah,
no.
that was gonna say.
No.
Wait,
What
we're
did Al Pacino do?
Right,
No,
I was like, I
no.
don't want to cancel Al Pacino.
No.
He's old enough that he's probably done some fucked up shit.
Oh, I'm sure he has.
I always
Well,
keep my eye out.
it's deep in the ground. It hasn't come up yet. So
Yeah.
And we're gonna leave it there.
We're gonna leave it there. But yeah.
Look,
Also,
yeah.
the same actor that you're talking about.
Yes.
What's his name? Zane or Zahn?
Mm-hmm.
Zahn McClarian.
McLarian. Yes.
He is amazing in Bone Tomahawk. If you haven't seen it, really good movie. It's got Kurt Russell. It's kind of a horror movie, but not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like a Western horror.
His aura of just like
He's
complete
creepy.
calm, but like there's a little crackle underneath is fantastic.
Yeah, and I like that he had so much screen time in Doctor Sleep.
Yes, I want him to be the lead in something.
What's his name?
Zane or Zahn?
It's
Zahn?
Zahn. Yes.
McClarian?
Oh,
Yes. When you see him,
Yeah, you'll
it's like,
know
oh,
when you
he's
see
been in
him.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. He has been in a whole lot of shit.
He has. Yes. But I enjoy him, and I mean, put him in more things. Make him a lead in something. He's got that. He's got the it. He's got the it.
He's got the
Yeah, I would say because he has not been the lead in anything.
No. And he's
I'm
been in
pretty
a lot of
sure.
shit.
Yeah, probably a couple of TV shows, but
Huh. All right. I mean, it looks like he might have some stuff coming out that we haven't seen yet. So
I mean, we haven't seen anything because 2020
Stop.
I will not.
Listen, I'm actually appreciating this a little bit because there is so much shit that I need to get caught up on because you guys remind me every week of some shit that I haven't seen that now maybe I've got some time to see it. Just
I
saying.
mean, all right. Keep up if you want to.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, before we move on, Eric, did you have any more?
I mean, I got a couple that like
Honorable mentions?
not so much the character, but like the actor and the representation in later media.
Mhm.
Okay.
I was going to talk about Jason Momoa's Aquaman
Oh.
because they made the choice with Aquaman to make him. I mean, Jason Momoa himself is half Hawaiian. Like his father is Native Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you could call it Pacific Islander.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his particular tribe, but I know he was very happy with that, and he was very proud to represent his people as Aquaman now. And even in the movie, the actor who plays his father is also,
Mhm.
I believe he is, what is it, Maori? I know I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, I think it's just Maori.
Yeah, the same actor who played Jango Fett.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's how I remember him. He's
He's
Jango
Jango Fett, and will be
Mhm.
back in the Mandalorian. So, yeah, him and I forget the gentleman's name from The Gifted, the show about the X-Men. That
yeah. Well, what character are you talking about?
I don't think they called him Warpath, but he's basically playing Warpath.
Oh, yeah. What did they call him on the show? I don't remember, but you're right. They never actually called him Warpath, but that's clearly who he was.
Yeah,
He's also hot. Like, keep giving me these hot actors because, Like so far, I like what you're selling over there, buddy.
Let's say him and the guy that I couldn't remember his name, but
Eclipse?
No, Eclipse was the one with the all black skin. He was a black actor, but like his skin was literally the color of like charcoal, and that was his power. Like he could take out the lights and things like that. Was it Blair Redford?
Thunderbird?
Yes, Thunderbird, and then later
John Proudstone.
Yep.
Yes, yeah, and in the comics he becomes Warpath, or there's another one, because they could have easily made him like Forge or something like that, who is also another native character in the X-Men, but he is a little cringy when you look back at the publication history of X-Men and Forge.
Cool.
I didn't watch Gifted.
The first season was really good.
Yeah.
The first season was really good, and then the second season just...
The second season started good, and then they got too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it made like this base of operations, and things kind of went to shit. And
you never get too comfortable when you're in Fox's hands.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. And the thing was, like, even the oh gosh, what was the main? The main villain was a black woman. What was her name? It wasn't Siren. It was something else.
In the second season, yeah.
And she was amazing. Like it was.
They mentioned that this show existed in the universe of the X-Men movies, and for some reason the X-Men disappeared. So like it was like they mentioned things that happened in X-Men, but like I don't know. And then you see little cameos from characters or characters that are kind of knockoffs of big name X-Men characters. So it didn't last long.
Yeah.
And
Fox doesn't like to keep things.
Knock off Oscar Isaacs in there as well.
You did have knockoff Oscar Isaacs.
Every time I saw that guy, I was like, no.
He's like a cross between him and Kelly Ripa's husband.
Mark Consuelos.
I was just happy that they had so many the main family is white as hell, but then you had all of these additional characters. Like you had Jamie Chung, who's playing Blink.
there was I loved her. Yeah, I loved her as Blink.
I love Blink as a character, especially from like because I'm a 90s X-Men nerd. The Age of Apocalypse stuff was when they brought in Blink. So but yeah, you had, him as a character speaking Spanish constantly, and
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was like British. Or he is like British.
Yeah, but his character is supposed to be, I think, Colombian.
Yeah.
He's not like British. He's just British.
Yeah, there are British Latino people.
He ain't one of them. His name's Sean fucking Teal. All right?
You don't know that.
Okay. We can Wikipedia that one because I'm pretty sure he's not. But anywho, all right. Manira, did we have a grab bag this week? Because if we do, I think it's time to mosey on over to your grab bag.
Boop boop ba doop boop boop scoop. No, we didn't.
We have an email.
Do we?
Yeah.
Can you
Manira.
What? Who is it from? I
believe we got another email from Corey.
God damn, that's why. Read it, please. Just can you just read it for a second?
So it's going to be Eric's grab bag this week.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I loved it.
Yes, I loved it.
Okay, yeah.
Jeremy Renner in there.
It is from Corey. It says, "Hi guys, I'm just writing because I need more elaboration on Maria practicing WWF finishers on a young Eric. What was her favorite move to practice? Did he cry? Does Maria herself have any nagging injuries from that era? Because although wrestling, and that is his spelling, wrestling is fake, it can be punishing to the body. That's all. Still love the show."
All right. So full disclosure, I only ever put Eric in a figure 4 once, and he screamed and punched me, and I let him go because I felt bad because he was so much smaller than I was. However, our other brother Raymond was consistently at the on the receiving end of all types of wrestling moves. That was, in fairness, until he hit about the age of 12, where he was all of a sudden taller than me, and he picked me up and body slammed me in the middle of the hallway. I was like 16, 17. I was in complete shock and then freaked out and went running to my dad because I was not okay with him all of a sudden doing to me what I'd done to him for years. I do have a couple of nagging injuries. You know, my shoulder's never right.
When it rains.
When it rains. Also, if it's under 45 degrees. You know, figure fours are they're hard on the joints. So, you know, my knees are a little
All
cranky.
you gotta do is roll over. Can't nobody put me in wrestling moves now.
No one's
saying talking all that big mess now.
I'm the strong kind of fat.
I'm not going anywhere near Eric now, but you know, when he was a little guy, he was a tiny guy. Eric was very, very little, but
I
like I
didn't
said,
get a growth spurt until like 16, so
yeah. Well, no, I'd say you got your first one around 12. You started to all of a sudden get some height.
horizontally, not vertically.
You did get a little fluffy around 11, 12. But like literally they thought you were like malnourished when you were little because you were so tiny. So you were just catching up. The food was just working a little differently for you.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then he shut up. So yeah, that's it, Corey. I had to retire early from the injuries and the growth spurts that my brothers hit because I'm all of 5'2" and they are 6 foot and 6'4"?
Something like that.
Respectively.
Depends on the shoes I'm wearing. 6'4" or above.
Yeah. So we stopped them games.
Also, Corey, once again, don't email us anymore.
Also, your brother is not 6 feet. Don't let him tell you that.
That's not nice. Stop it. Stop it right now.
But you know it means so much to him.
It does mean so much
to be 6 feet.
That's like telling him that your son is 6 foot.
He's barely 5.
You know the one that I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, no. That little MFer, if he's 5'11" on a good day with shoes, it's a lot. But him and his uncle love to live this lie that they're 6 feet. Let them live that lie.
Let them live it.
No, the air's different up here.
Hey, Manera, there's levels to this shit. He's not on his level.
Bitch, you ain't on mine.
I am only an inch or two away from being a fucking hobbit. I know that, you know that. I've just
hairy feet and all.
Whoa,
nice.
whoa.
Don't do that. That's not nice.
There is no
nice.
hairy feet over here, sir.
Hobbit toes, fat
yes.
hobbits.
All right, wrapping up this fucking shit show. As always, guys, we definitely want to thank you for listening and watching if you're watching us. If you like the episode, please subscribe, drop a review, tell your friends, post links on your social media, do all that good stuff. You can follow our social media. Our handle on Twitter and Instagram both is @ConcentratedPod. Next week, we will be doing our season recap for The Boys.
Sure.
Yes, I'll be doing it right now.
I wouldn't say the whole season. We can pick up post episode.
Well, it's going to be part 2, where we're going to do everything from episode 4 to 8, right? Because it's
only 8
this
episodes.
week's week's episode will be 8. Yeah. So we'll be talking about that. So please, we definitely want to hear your thoughts on what you've thought about this season. You can send us those thoughts along with any questions or topics you'd like us to cover to everyone except for Corey apparently.
He's on a timeout.
He's on a timeout right now. Mm-hmm. You can send that to concentratedpodcast@gmail.com. You can also drop a message on our Facebook page, which is just Concentrated Podcast. And lastly, you can leave us a voicemail at the number that you will see on your screen, or I will repeat right now, which is 301-531-4393.
We got
again.
Screen graphics?
I know, right?
Fancy.
You bitches ain't been watching?
I looked around like, what? Where? What's happening?
Y'all suck. If you watched last week's episode, you will see, that phone number popped up right up on the screen. So did our email address, actually. But 301.
Did Corey get it there?
Oh, he might have. Oh, shit. Phone number 301-531-4393. That is it for this week.
Bye, I'm guys. Sorry. Are we bothering you, Slimberella?
I'm sleepy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Bye.
That's how we know it's time to wrap.
Right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.